Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another goddamn gorgeous video. Damn son. And this time we're back with another Age of Mythology Retold video. And this is a 2v2 match I played recently with one of my good friends, where I was playing the Norse, he was playing the Egyptians, and together we played against the Greeks and the Atlanteans. And I think this match is really interesting, and I would really like to show you how I played as the Norse in this match, because I used to always feel like it was really useless to play as Norse against the Atlanteans and the Greeks. But here I think it's really interesting to see how I approached this game with the Norse. So let's jump straight into it. I'm just going to start it again. So now you can see I'm starting off with putting all of my villagers onto gathering food. And I immediately start spamming another dwarf. And after that I continue with a bunch of villagers. So the idea is I spread it out a little bit. We get the dwarves for the gold because they can gather the gold a little quicker than the gatherers can, or the villagers. Now unfortunately I forgot actually getting the cart here, building it with the dwarf, but that's what I'm gonna do now in a second, I believe. And obviously a bunch of mistakes happen when you play a game like this. It's always a little stressful, and I'm really trying to rush in this game to build a base here up in the front and just have a second base where I can spam units and just push the enemy. And you can already see I'm starting to get a bunch of wood because we need that for the axe throwers. So that's what we're doing here. And now, like I said, my mate, he's playing the Egyptians, and we're technically in a way kind of playing a 1v1 in a 4-player match, because he's taking on the Greeks while I'm taking on the Atlanteans. So that is a little bit funny, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so we're slowly starting to build up our base, getting more dwarves, getting more villages for food, as you can see here. And then the idea is to quickly age up to H2, get the temple down, and then just spam some of the I forgot the names of them, but the myth units you can build from already the first age, I believe. So that is the idea here, and then quickly build a little base up here. And that's what's going to happen. So you'll see in a moment, or not in a moment, will still be a little bit, that I'll be building the temple so that I can finally age up to H2. Meanwhile, we can actually see the Atlanteans here also going for a little bit of a more food heavy start, and a little bit of wood and some gold, and they obviously don't have the carts as Norse do. And why is this lagging this much? That's incredibly annoying. You see this? It's like I'm having a low FPS on this replay. That's a little odd. This will hopefully be fixed in a moment. Wait, what if we pause the replay and then we... Oh, it's the game. The game is actually messed up right now. It's not just a replay. You see this? When I'm moving here, huh? That's a little odd. Oh, well, we'll hopefully work out in a minute. Well, the game is quite new, so I believe it's maybe still a little glitchy when you're playing the replays. And now you can see I've actually got my third dwarf on the gold mine, and I usually leave it at that until I age up to H2. Then I'm trying to get 5 dwarves on the gold mine, and then I increase it a little bit further in the game. And here you can see I've got more and more villages. I'm getting more and more villages to gather food. And you see another villager is coming out. And for wood, I still only have 2. And I believe I'm moving the next one on to getting wood. And here you can see we're already building the temple. And now Why is this still so glitchy? Let me just... Alright, sorry. So, we're back. It seems it has been fixed. Somehow. I don't know how. But we're back at it. And now you can see the temple is almost done, and that's when I decide to spam the myth units you can get in the temple. Yeah, maybe you can only do it on H2, it seems. And now you can see I'm already going for another dwarf after H2, and there we go. There we are getting the Herseer. That's the name of them. So you can already build them from the first age, which is really cool with the Norse, right? And you will see that once the first unit is out, I'll be moving up here to the next settlement. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen in a second. We're getting more villages for wood, a little more for food, and right now we're still aging up to H2. And usually I move up to the next settlement when I have a few more units. But now I think I'm already moving the first unit, sending the second down in a second as well. So yeah, that's basically what's happening. We're pushing up all the way here to the settlement. And as soon as we're H2, which we are now, I start building the first barracks. And oh, you can see we're actually missing this... unit right over here. He does see me building, and I think he's panicking a little bit at this point in the game. You can see he has also got his temple down, and he is not H2 yet, but he will be if we just check. Let's see. But Eugene, we can actually not see that he is. Yeah. So it's obvious this is quite a new player. I'm a new player as well, but this guy seems to be really new because he is not constantly getting his villages out. And he's really splitting up his economy, so that's going to be a little bit of a setback for him. And you can see he's still exploring with his unit here. He's got more villages here, actually. Let's see, that's really interesting. Okay. So I believe with the Atlanteans, you don't have to move back and forth to the settlement when you're gathering resources. And if I'm not mistaken, the Atlanteans are actually the faction with that are most effective when it comes to gathering resources, as far as I know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, you can see if we go back to my me now, I've got a couple of units here, and as soon as I have the next two throwers out, I'm going for a little push and bothering him a little bit. And I think that's really important to do as a Norse, because the late game, the Atlanteans, well, every faction is pretty strong, but it's going to be quite difficult for the Norse if you don't age up with the Atlanteans or Greeks or whatsoever, right? So my idea is basically just to spam in with units, just constantly harass him, and you can see that's what I'm going to do now. And he's building... oh, that's not a barracks. Never mind. But you'll see I'm going to go and harass him a little bit with my units. And we got one unit stuck over here. That's ridiculous. So he starts building his barracks, gets an armory, and now you can see him bothering his villages. Now he's forced to get all his... villages inside so that I'm not bothering them, and this is where I decide to destroy his armory. Now this is quite a setback for the enemy here, because I already have like a little force and he has nothing. He's not able to defend himself, so that makes it quite difficult for him. You see, he actually has a few units coming up here. Let's see how this turns out. There we're getting his villages. I'm moving back my my throwing axemen a little bit. And there we go. And these units are really annoying that they just double up when you kill them. So, and this is, I believe I'm pushing back now a little bit, retreating, before my units are all gone and lost. And that's when he will start gathering resources again. And then you can see I already have a little bit of a force back here, building more units. I keep spamming in the temple over here. I'm getting more for gathering wood, starting to spam more villages out for that. We still have 5 dwarves for mining, and I've got all of these villages on food. Now they should be going for the pigs, and then after that I usually start getting the farms out when there's no more food you can pick here in nature. So, now we already got quite a force back here already. Got the Berserker up here. We're getting more units, more myth units up. And now this is going to be quite a problem for him. And you can see my teammate is actually also bothering him right now. Getting his villages inside. And this is when I am pushing down. I actually did not realize that my friend was still, or started pushing him down here. He is just more focused on his opponent over here, who's got, damn, a bunch of archery ranges here, which is a very classic a Greek strat. You go for a cavalry, and then you go for a bunch of archers and myth units, obviously. So that's the idea behind the Greeks over here. Now, you see, I am already destroying his towers and starting to go for the villages. Well, now they're already retreating. And this is it. There we go. So these are not really dealing any damage on the building. It's usually mostly the myth units that do that. But there's no villages or anything here, so might as well just help out with destroying the town center. And I believe it is at this time that he starts retreating to this settlement, if I'm not mistaken. Once this one is destroyed. I'm sending more units down. You see I'm still spamming. And obviously, like I said, I'm not a pro player, but the idea is to just constantly spam units. And it is difficult with the resources to manage it all, but it works out in the end. So, this is where we are getting his town center down. Or settlement. And this is where he's retreating. There we go. And this is... Oh dear. I believe I'm going back now. Yeah, I'm going back. Since we lost all our myth units, there's no point in keeping on pushing him. You could go for the villages, obviously, but it's not worth it at this time, so I'm waiting until I have more myth units coming up and helping me out at the front. And you see now I start building the Great Hall, where I can build even more of the what are they? The Hersiers, right? Built more of the Hersiers here, and I slowly start expanding this more and more, so that there are more barracks and so on and so forth. Now, this is where I'm starting to build farms for the resources when it comes to food. And I forgot all about my villages on the gold. So you see, I'm still not perfect when it comes to playing the Norse. It's quite a game of management and harassment at the same time. The rest of the villages I'm getting for wood, because we need a lot of wood for these units we have right here. Now it looks like I'm getting ready for another push. I'm not pushing quite yet, I believe. Oh, we start building another longhouse. Some more barracks. You see, that's what I mean. And that's, I think it's really important as the Norse to utilize your units being able to actually build barracks. Or in general, they can build, I think, all buildings or almost all buildings. So it's really good to push to the front, make a little second base where you can just spam out units, and then you keep pushing the enemy. So you can see it's quite a setback here. He built the settlement or a new town center further down in the back because he knows I am close. He knows that I have this base. Let's see what is going on over here. So we got Lil Baba, who's my friend over here. He took over this settlement. He's getting a lot of resources. He took that gold mine over here. And soon we'll see a push from the Greeks onto me, I believe. I think they're gonna come down here and defeat my army, or my little force, or whatever we should call it, in a second. Because he sees that his friend is struggling a little bit. So let's see what's happening here. Pushing down there, I start destroying the tower, and then I believe I'm going further down here and destroying the rest. And you can see the Greeks actually got a mine down here. Oh wait, is that... That's got little babas? Wait a minute. No, okay, it is the Greeks. There we go. So you see, he's gonna try and defeat my my force, which he is successful with. I believe I start retreating at some point. Let's have a look and see what's happening. And I'm using the earthquake on these buildings. Not the smartest idea for me to just push in there when he has this many archers. I'm not sure if there's actually even any survivors here. But I thought I should keep the pressure on while I keep building a new force. So that's really important. It would be quite useless, and you see Alibaba is helping me now. It would be quite useless for me to push and forget about spamming more units. So now you see I'm falling back with the rest that's left. And we're regrouping over here. I'm getting more of these Hersiers. And that's how we just keep going throughout the entire game. Getting more farms done. We have a lot of villages on wood. And I believe we also get more on gold, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can see we have a bunch of dwarves now. 10 dwarves for just gold. And I'm pretty... And yeah, okay, let's see. So yeah, it's just important to remember to really... not forget expanding, getting more and more resources, more villages. Use the auto queue. God damn, it's a lifesaver, I'm telling you. And you can see I'm expanding the second basement here, and that's where the Greeks are going to push me again. So it comes a little bit as a surprise, to be honest. Because I did not expect them to push with a bunch of archers. But you can see we got quite a good force to battle these archers, and this is where I realize he is coming down. And now I'm regrouping, getting all my units together, and now this is quite a little fun battle going on here. I realized that it's quite useless for me to go in with these units because they're just a little faster than my units, and I believe I decide going for the cavalry at this time in a moment. Because you can already see, like, he is destroying my force over here. I do deal a little bit of damage, but it's by far enough. And that's when I decide to retreat and wait for the cavalry. So the cavalry will be a lifesaver for the archers over here. You'll see I'm waiting a little bit. He's not dealing much damage on my buildings, so therefore I'm just... leaving it, letting him do his thing while I increase the force. And now I'm going in with my cavalry, and you can see they're really catching up on them. But it's by far enough cavalry, and you can see the axe throwers, they're not able to really reach as far as the archers can. But it's good enough, like we're able to pin him down a little bit. So this is it. And while he is focused on defending his teammate over here, the Greeks, you can see Galil Baba is also expanding. So it's really important in general to just really expand, because that is... map control is everything, you know. So the battle stopped, and we're retreating back to our base over here. We're getting more cavalry. In general, I think we're getting more units, and then that's... soon gonna be the last push until they decide to give up on the game. So yeah, you see, it was quite difficult for Red. He wasn't really able to do that much already from the first push. He was surprised with all the units we had coming up. So now at the moment, it's actually the Greeks trying to carry this game while he is rebuilding himself. But you can see he's like really... It seems to me that he doesn't really have a plan. Like, he only has a few on the farms, only a few on getting wood. He is not really spamming any villagers. And that's a problem here, because if you forget spamming villagers, it's pretty much a GG. I mean, you can probably argue that you would want to have more villages than actual units. Because resources are really everything. If you quickly use a unit, you can quickly spam new ones. So, here we got a pretty good force. And I believe I'm pushing in just a second. Let's see what Galil Baba is doing. He's got a pretty good force here with the elephants and the carts over here. Oh dear, this is not looking good for the enemy. You can see he's already prepared for the next push. Got some of his units down here. So yeah. So now we got a really big force over here, and I believe this is where I decide to push. Pretty sure I'm just managing my my base over here. Yeah, getting more houses down so we can get the rest of the units out. There you go. Oh, now we're the next level. We can get some better myth units. And there we go. We got the boar coming up. And some of the villages are still glitching. It's unbelievable. Still glitching. Oh dear. That's not good. But you see this, like, oh, sorry. Really wants at some point just spam a bunch of farms. You really need a lot of villages for this. And now you can see me and Galibaba, we decided to put an end to this and finish the Atlanteans, because we got a really strong force over here. This is pretty much the last battle going on here. With all the cav, I can easily get the archers down, and you can see we're crushing this army already. But I must say I'm surprised he doesn't have any cavalry at all. Usually with, and you can see here he has one stable over here, but usually you would spam a bunch of archers and some cavalry to go in the front. There you go, we're going for some of the villagers, and other than that we're just destroying the buildings, splitting up my units a little bit. There we go. So now he's got only a few villages left here in the back. You can see we're going for them. We're getting the villages away, killing them, so that he is not able to rebuild. Yeah, and that's the Greeks there again. So we start focusing on the Greeks now. And you can see we're just pinning them down. They're done. All the cav is rushing in, finishing it, and that is where green left the game. And now red gave up as well. So that was this game. It was a pretty quick game, only a 22-minute game, almost. And yeah, these players there were pretty new, but I think the idea here is just to show you that it get that base in the front and just start pushing and harassing the enemy. As soon as you start harassing already in the beginning of the game, it is game over. It's just really annoying. You lose villagers and it's just going to mess up the entire economy. So that is pretty much it. And yeah, I just wanted to show you this game, and that was just a really quick match. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more, please leave a like, make sure to subscribe, comment down below if you have anything to comment about. I would love to hear your thoughts, get some feedback from you guys. I'm also still learning the game, so this was by far perfect, but you get the idea. I'm just trying to show you, like, this is this is what you should do as a Norse. You really have to push and also find like a good middle ground to really balance it with managing resources. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Adios, amigos.